Hi, I'm Sarah, the Master Colour Expert and Creative Director here at Bark Hair, and welcome to Hairspace. Today we're doing part 4 of our Salon vs Supermarket series, and we're going to be talking about lightening. Now there are a number of different ways you can go about lightening. Like we talked about last time, you can use a tint, but because tint doesn't lighten other tint or previously coloured hair, most of the time when we're lightening the hair in the salon, we recommend using a powder lightener like this one. So you can use this for foils, you can use it for balayage, or you can use it for an all-over colour. But for today, we're going to be talking about using it for an all-over colour. When we talk about a powder lightener, there are usually 3 components that they use to get the powder lightener to do its job, and they are persulfates. So persulfates are a kind of a salt. And the reason that they use a combination is that they each do a different job and they each dissolve at a different rate. So for this powder lightener and for most of them, they would use a combination of ammonium persulfate, sodium persulfate and potassium persulfate. Between them, you get between 45 minutes to 60 minutes of lightening ability, which is what the recommended kind of development time for most of the lighteners are. After that, you're just sort of doing more damage to your hair than you need to, and it's not really going to lighten any further. When we're talking about an on-scalp lightener, like last week, developer is a really important choice. So with all of the colour companies in Australia, they recommend that the maximum developer of hydrogen peroxide that you use is 6%. The reason for that is if you go any higher, it can really start to irritate and damage your skin, and it can really damage your hair. On your scalp particularly, you'll get a lot of burning sensation if you use something with 12%. Now, in Australia, generally, they don't recommend using 12% with a powder lightener. It's not something that we tend to do at Bark Hair either. The maximum we would use is 9%, and that's because we want to make sure that you're getting the best, most beautiful colour you can. And when you use those higher levels of developer, it can actually end up making your hair be more yellow. So when we lighten hair, we follow what is called the lightening curve. So starting at a level 2, which is the darkest level of hair in the natural world, up to a level 10, which is the lightest level of hair in the natural world, we kind of go through a nice little array when we lighten of everything from brown when you get to like a 3 level to a red orange when you get to like a 5 level, which is your light brown, to an orange, a yellow orange, yellow, pale yellow, and then the beautiful, very pale yellow when you get up to the top. So if you're lightening your hair, you can't avoid it, you're going to go through these little phases in there. When they say you'll get up to 7 levels of lift, the reason being is that if you're a 2 level and you're trying to get to a 10 level, you've got all that densely packed in pigment, you're probably not going to be able to get that light in one go. And if you were lucky, you might get up to that yellow level of an 8 level, which is a nice blonde, but not really, really super light. If we use something like 12%, you might think that you get a little bit lighter, but what actually tends to happen is that all those little pigments as they're coming out spill over the top rather than dissolve, and you end up with yellow as well. So we don't recommend using a really high level of developer when we use a lightener for that reason. Now, I don't often say this. You probably seen from most of these videos beforehand that generally I just like to give you the advice that coming to see a professional is going to get you a better result because you've got somebody that knows what they're talking about and can recommend something definitely for you. When we talk about this product specifically, I'm just going to straight out tell you, do not use this. This is a very strong chemical product. This isn't just something that you can throw around and hope for the best. We're talking about the strongest level of developer that we are allowed to use in Australia, with a powder lightener which is working to give you an extreme amount of lift as much as possible. And not only are the claims not correct, even on its own packaging here, it's contradicting itself. You really are risking hurting yourself and really, really damaging your hair by using this. Please, please, please come and see us in the salon so that we can give you a really beautiful result like mine instead. I have done this on a head block so that you can see what happens, and I'm going to take you through that in just a moment. But honestly, more than any of the other products that we've talked about, I really recommend, if you're going to be lightening your hair specifically, come and see a professional. We're talking about really strong chemicals here, and having somebody that understands what they do, understands how to use them safely, and understands how they can really impact your hair and your health is going to be really more important than just getting a little bit of lightening on your hair at home because you on a whim decided you wanted to go lightener. So let's have a look and see what happened when we lightened on this head block. I'll be back in one moment. We have a lovely bright orange. So as we were talking before, the lightening curve means that depending on how dark you are naturally or how dark a tint you've been putting over your hair, you are going to see some probably unwanted tones come out as you lighten your hair. Now, the darker your hair is, the harder it is for those to get out and the more likely you are to end up with an orange like this. Despite the fact that on the back of this box here, it's saying that if you're a dark blonde, you are going to get a pretty decent sort of clean blonde. We can see here, it's probably not going to be the case. This lovely lady has also been previously lightened once before, and as I was combing it out, I did notice a lot of breakage because the product that I had used to previously lighten it was in fact this one. If you were to do 2 applications of that, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to end up like a lot of those girls on YouTube that end up combing your hair into the sink, which I'm sure a few of you have seen before. And the other thing is that, of course, this product doesn't come with a toner. Now, a toner is something that we put on after a lightening service to get rid of unwanted tones. Now, it's not always necessary, particularly if you're doing foils or something similar to that. But when we talk about an all-over colour, like I've got on mine, you always do a toner on there. It's just to even out that colour and to make sure that you get a really beautiful, fresh colour that you were expecting. Now, I like to go pink with mine, so it doesn't really matter if there's a little bit of yellow left over in mine because it kind of works in with my pink. But for most people, you want to get rid of those yellow tones to get it a really nice clean blonde. if you were this, on the other hand, this is a lot harder to get out. In the salon, if you were that dark, we would have prepared you for the fact that you were going to have orange hair, and we would have recommended a toner to you, and we would also know what to put over the top of this to get the desired result. Unfortunately, this is what you're going to get, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing in this box that's going to help you go again. There's nothing that's going to help you put over the top to neutralize those tones. You're just going to be stuck with bright orange hair. So once again, I recommend, please, if you're going to be lightening your hair, come and see a professional. We really have all of the tools available to us to be able to get you the result that you're after. We also can explain to you if it's going to be a journey, if you're not going to be able to get it all in one go, and let you know about what you can expect as you go, rather than just crossing your fingers, looking at the back of the box, thinking you're going to get this, and ending up with this. Now next week, we're going to be talking about toning. So we're going to be trying to fix this lovely lady and help her out here to get her a beautiful colour that she's going to enjoy. So we'll be showing you what we can do with you in the salon versus what the options are in the supermarket. Until then, you can find us on Instagram at barkhair, or on Facebook, or at barkhair.com.au. If you'd like to make an appointment with one of our beautiful stylists to talk about your hair, you can also call us at our Paddington or our Chelmer salons. So until next week, see you then. Bye.